channel. It's Miss Stacy, and in part 2 we're going to be talking about how I breed my rabbits. Now, I usually breed my rabbits 3 times a year, spring, winter, fall, and I don't do it in the summer. It's just too hot. Right now is like the cutoff point. I'm doing breeding right now because it's still spring, but if I wait any longer, like if I waited a couple more weeks from now, I wouldn't do it. So the meat rabbits that I breed are California and New Zealand, and I cross them. So I have California purebred and New Zealand purebred, and then I have California cross with New Zealand. And those are the ones I breed. They're a good size rabbit, you know. They don't take much feed to get to processing weight there. I'll talk about that when that time comes. So from the time you breed them to the time they give birth, the gestational period, it's 28 to 33 days. Now, the one female I'm going to breed today, she usually gives birth on the 33rd day, so the very last moment. And then I've had other females that do it around 28 days. So any time between there. And then here's something that may happen when you have first-time mothers. They'll probably eat their babies. Some do. So occasionally you're going to have a rabbit that will eat their litters. Now, the one I'm breeding right now actually had 2 litters that she ate. The first one, I'm not sure if it was her that ate the first one, so I tried breeding her and her mother at the same time. They were sharing a cage, and they both were to give birth at the same time. I just wanted to see if it would work. And she gave birth, and then the babies were disappeared. So either the mom ate him or she ate him. I'm pretty sure she did. Because the mom had babies and they were fine. But I had to move her out of the cage because I was like, oh, she might eat those babies. So now I just don't breed 2 females in the same area. It was one of those experiments like a few years ago I tried to do. Because you see people colony raise, and I was thinking, oh, maybe that would work, but it didn't. So her second litter, she was by herself, and she ate that too. And I was like, if this girl keeps on eating her babies, then I'm just going to have to process her, because I had plenty of other ones to raise up. I had another litter I could have kept a female. But you know, it takes 4 to 6 months to be able to breed a rabbit. So that's like, you know, a long time to wait. So I gave her one more chance. Oh, I read that if you feed them bacon before the baby's born, then they won't eat their babies. And you know what? I gave her bacon, raw bacon, like about 5 days before her babies were due, and she did not eat she ate the bacon and she didn't eat her babies. And so I believe that worked, because she's had 4 litters successfully without her eating them, and I've given her bacon a few days beforehand just because she's a cannibal, I tell you. And she hasn't eaten them. She's actually a really good mother. So, and I don't want to risk her, you know, her eating this litter that I'm gonna breed her right now. But I thought about, oh, maybe I don't have to give her bacon, because I never gave my other ones bacon. They were all fine. They never ate their babies. But I don't know. There's just sometimes you have one of those that do that. But if on the 3rd time after the bacon trick, if she would have ate her babies, it's like a lost cause. But it just took her a while, I guess, to learn that that's not the enemy. Is actually her babies. It's not food. So there's that point I wanted to say. And then, my males, I keep 2 males in 1 cage, and you can do that if they grew up together, if they're litter mates, because there's a dominance hierarchy thing, right? Like a pecking order, like with chickens. And you can do that. I had the same males in the same cages for like 3 years. So, and nothing was going on. They do pee all over each other, though. That's funny. They just pee all over each other, trying to mark their territories. And then also you can introduce 2 young male rabbits. And then I have introduced a male rabbit when he was still kind of young with a baby. So I'm going to try to do that one more time. It's worked every time for me, but there's always those times that it won't. But every time I've had, I've had 2 males in 1 cage. And I do this because they're social animals. Rabbits need company. They don't like being by themselves. And so that's why I did that. And I think that I know that their cage is big enough. That's why it was able to work. But if you have them in a small cage, there's no way it's going to work. I give the boys the biggest cage, and they have plenty of space to run around, and then they have their own separate housing areas. That's important. And then they just coexist, and they actually lay with each other, and it's pretty sweet for them. It's neat. It's neat. And then the females, they have their babies, so they'll have company here and there, so they're never really lonely. And they get a break in between. I'm sure they appreciate. One time I left the babies because I was building a grow out cage. That's what they're called. So when your rabbits are like in the process of weaning, when the babies are around 6 weeks old, you can take them away from their mom and put them in a grow out cage. Well, my babies were 6 weeks old, and I was still building my grow out cage, so I just left them with the mom. And that's just really not a good idea to leave them with the mom so long, because the mom never gets a break. I mean, it took me about 3 weeks longer to get them out, and then I ended up just not even putting them in their own cage, just processing them. But the whole time they were just nursing on their mom, and they would not let the mom alone. Poor thing. So I ended up having to take the mom out of the cage because they just won't leave her alone. They'll nurse and nurse and nurse probably forever, I would think, until they get a lot older at least. So now I have a grow out cage, and I just take the babies out at 6 weeks and put them in the grow out cage. And then that's when most people will breed their females again, is around either before they wean, like a week before they take the babies out, or when they take the babies out. Also, these being meat rabbits, the breeding of them doesn't have to be super select, but the main rule you have to go by is they cannot be bred if they come from the same litter. So if you have a boy and a girl from the same litter mates, they cannot be bred. That's a no-no. But if they're from the same parents but different litters, like one litter here and then a few months later she gives birth to another litter, you can mate those. So you can like interbreed rabbits to the father, to the daughter, to the son, to the mother. They just can't, because you're not showing these rabbits. They're not show quality. I mean, they probably are. They're really pretty. But they're your meat, they're your food. So you just need to make sure you just don't breed from the same litter. They cannot be litter mates. So that's a good point. I almost forgot to say. So of course there are times that you want to get new blood in. And when you do that, you want to also isolate your new rabbit just for a bit to make sure it's not diseased and doesn't bring any harmful things to your existing herds of bucks and does. So, for instance, I got my cousin was able to give me a couple of males and one female, and I just isolated them for a few weeks just to make sure that they didn't have anything that would give to my other animals, my other rabbits. So it's just better to be on the safe side because there are sick animals out there and animals that have worms and stuff. You just want to make sure. And so I'm going to get to breeding them, and I'll show you how to actually tell the sex of the male versus female. My girl is so fat, it's probably be hard to tell, but I'll show you the boy. And so, and then I'll show you the mating process. All right, let's go. So this is Bunny Boop Boop, and he's a male, and he's 6 months old, and he's gonna claw me, but I'm gonna show you how to sex him. So he's got his balls in, so they're a little deflated. All right, so look at that. So see how that pops out? Let me see if I can, like a worm. Let me move the camera down a bit. See if we can get a better angle. So see, right here, right here, you gently pull this back, and it pops down like a little, like male penis. I can't tell if you can see. Like a little male penis that pops out. It's like a little sea snail. It'll pop out. A little sea snail. And they have 2 ball sacks on the side when they get older. I hope you were able to see that, because it's a little hard sometimes to see. But he's being so good. I'll show you. So like that. See? Like a sea snail. A girl has like a V, just a slit. So, that's how you sex a rabbit. Now let me put him back, and I'm gonna see if I can try to get the girl to get mated, because I think she just needs to be mated. Like, virgin rabbits are hard to get to mate sometimes, so introducing them helps. No. No. All right, so they're both in the same cage. Let's see if you can see what I can see. Well, he seems tiny compared to the mom, but the mom is just fat. Let's see. I think he had one fall off. I don't know why he decided to poop all up in this area. It's all dry. I have to harvest it. Takes a while for the boy to figure things out. All right, so that was a successful mating. Okay, so we have 3 successful fall-offs. A fall-off is when a male rabbit mates, and I have just showed you, and then they just fall off. They'll squeal sometimes, and the female ovulates on demand, so she ovulates when she's mated, so she's pretty much guaranteed to have babies. I'm going to put her back in her own cage. I'll give him a little bit more time because they seem to be getting along well. And put her back in her own cage and wait until the babies come, and I'll be updating y'all on that. Alright, so that's how that's done. And I wanted to show you real fast that, you know, rabbits are easily litter box trained. So they will actually poop in an area. They're very clean animals. Well, I just moved him out from, I have wire cages too for when I raise them up as babies. The ones I choose to keep, I keep them in wire cages just to tame them. And then also it's a place that I put them when it's too hot, or a little hospital area, or even raise baby chicks in there sometimes. So it's an all-purpose cage, but he's been in there because I was taming him, and then I just moved him out here, and he's finding his poop area. Well, he decided to use his food bowl as a litter box instead of on the ground. I think he's starting finally to go on the floor, on the ground, but he's been pooping in this poop bowl. And I didn't realize it when I mated them just now. I thought it was food and in the food bowl, but it was actually poop, a little booger. And when he was mating, he spilt the poop everywhere, and it was really dry, but just so you know, you'll see a little poop everywhere. And I can't believe, I was like, ruined my film, but no, that's what happened. He was chasing her and spilled his litter box of poop while he was mating. But yeah, they'll do that. The girl, she has a corner. I'll show you where she poops. She has a corner that she always poops in. But he's just finding his. And hopefully he doesn't continue to poop in the feed bowl. So here's her spot. She poops right here in this corner. Right there. Right by her ramp. What a place. When I move the cage, it all goes in the earth. But yeah, she'll poop right there in that one corner, and the rest is all clean. So they have a plenty space to eat. So hopefully he figures it out and stops pooping up in the house in his feed bowl. See, look at, they love this place. He does this little bunny bop thingies. I don't forget what they're called, when they run and they jump in the air. He does that, and they'll chew on the wood. I always have sticks in. See, their sticks. Getting something else to chew on besides the wood of their cage, but I mean, that's okay. So, and then there's this one. So when I house two males, one will choose one territory and the other will choose this territory, and they live in harmony. They like to lay on their tummy. So, well, that's how you breed rabbits. And I'll be waiting when the babies are born, and I'll give her hay and stuff, and she'll start building her nest. When she's ready to have those babies, I'll show you. They'll start pulling fur and building their nest, and then you know they're close. And I'm going to give her some bacon just to make sure. Alrighty, we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.